Welcome back. So we have another video about comments, finishing up CRUD. We're focusing on the D, which is delete. So to delete a comment, we need to add in our route, and we also need to add in the button, which is actually a form that will submit a request to that destroy route. And this is pretty simple compared to edit and update. Only one route. We don't need a crazy complex form. We don't have to worry about a lot of the complications that we did with edit and update for campgrounds and in particular comments. So the route that we need, let's take a look at how we did it for campground to start. If we scroll down, /ID, and that's it, but remember our route is actually /campground/ID as a delete request. So we can add that in. Campground destroy route is /campgrounds/ID as a delete request. And our comments destroy route is nested, so it's a little bit longer. It's /campgrounds/ID/comments/comments/ID as a delete request. So we're following our RESTful routes here. Let's now go and implement this route. We'll begin by going to our comment.js, the routes file, and we'll add in a comment that says comments destroy route. And then we need our router.delete, and the route is just comment ID, and that's it, because that other part has been prepended to it when we required it in the app.js. And I've showed that a lot in the last few videos, so I won't do that again. But it's in the app.js where we require this file. And then we need our request and response standard callback here. And what we'll do in here eventually is find by ID and remove. But for now, we're just going to res.send. This is the destroy comment route. And we'll save. Now let's try and hit this route. So we'll go to our show form. So let me start the server first. What we want is a button right here, just like edit, but let's make it red. And I click on it, and it sends a delete request to that route. But remember, it's not actually a delete request. It's a post request because we can't make a delete request from a form yet. It's allegedly coming in the future. That's the whole method override thing. That's why we're using it. We send a post request with underscore method equal to delete. So let's do that now in our show. So right below this button here, this anchor tag, we'll add in a form. And it can't be just an anchor tag because that only makes a get request. We needed a post. So action, it's going to be long again. We can actually copy what we have above. campground/campground.id/comments/comment ID. So we can copy that whole thing in here. And we don't need /edit. We don't need /anything after the ID, except we do need method, underscore method equals delete. And then we also need method equals post. So yeah, kind of nasty, kind of long, but that's just the name of the route here. There's a lot of stuff involved in that route. Okay, so inside the form, all we need is an input type equals submit, and then we'll give it a class of btn, btn xs, and btn danger. That should make it nice and red for us. And then we can give it a value, because I didn't do a button this time, just to show you how to use input type submit. You give it a value for the text on the actual button, whereas if it's a button element, you have inner HTML to set, but we don't have that here. So value equals, let's just say delete. Okay, let's refresh. So first thing you'll notice, we have that same issue that we did with the campground, where the delete button is in a form, so that sent it to the next line. Luckily, we already have that style sheet that we defined. If we go into public, style sheets main.css, we have this delete form to set display to inline. So if we try that now and I inspect, we also set that form have display inline, we can see that the buttons behave the way that I want them to. So we'll do that, but with our CSS file. And we don't actually have to write anything new in our CSS file. Just copy this ID and also assign it to this form. Just like that. Now our form is nice and inline. The last thing that we need to do is actually implement our route. So let's see what happens. Good. We get this is the destroy comment route. Now we actually need to destroy the comment. So in comments.js, we'll get rid of this. We're going to have a comment.find by ID and remove. Remember, the ID goes first. So that's request.params.comment ID, this one here. And just to hammer this home one more time, this ID is what we're talking about. So we have the campground ID, comment/comment ID. Okay. Next thing we'll do is have our callback function error. And then all that we can do in here is just check if there's an error. Just do a res.redirect back again. And if there's not an error, eventually we'll send a message. And by eventually, I actually mean in just a few videos from now. We're getting really close to this one. But we'll send a message that says, comment successfully removed. For now, res.redirect. And after we delete a comment, it makes sense to go back to the show page. We could do res.redirect back as well, assuming that the user came from the show page, which is the only place we'll have the delete button for a comment. But technically, someone could send that request from something like Postman. And also, just so we get more practice, I'm going to write the show page redirect from scratch. So /campgrounds/ID, and that ID is request.params.id. Not comment ID, but ID, which is the campground ID. We have a lot of IDs going on, but the first one in our route is for the campground. So this should send us back to the show page, and we'll hopefully see that that comment was deleted. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Restart. I don't have to be logged in right now to do this. So if I click delete, you can see it's gone. I do have to be logged in to add one. So let me log back in. Password. Let's add a new comment to this one. Make sure we can still edit it. Let's add one more. Very original comments. And let's delete one. Perfect. It's working. So that's all we needed to do. Two main steps: defining the destroy route, where we actually add in the logic, find by ID and remove. And the other important step is adding that button, which is actually a form, because we have to send a post request, which is actually disguised as a delete request inside of our route file. So our form sends a post, we add in underscore method equals delete. Method override is expecting that underscore method, and that triggers our delete route here, rather than router.post, which is what it would trigger otherwise without method override. Okay, next up, we're going to go and add in the code for authorization, so that you, first of all, have to be logged in to edit and delete something, and it has to belong to you to edit and delete a comment. So you can't just arbitrarily go and delete all the comments on an application. Okay, so we'll do that in the next video.